Product mix decision. In this slide, we're going to discuss how we can decide on how many of each product that we are going to produce. Okay? Kunwari, we have may dalawa tayong products. Ilan nitong product A ang ipoproduce natin and ilan nitong product B ang ipoproduce natin. Dapat ba equal lang? Dapat mas marami si A? Dapat mas marami si B? O dapat ba puro B na lang lahat or puro A na lang lahat? No? Yun yung concern natin sa product mix decision. Okay, here we have the following decision rules. First, choose the product combination mix that will maximize contribution margin. So that is your priority. Alamin mo anong product combination mix ang merong pinakamalaking contribution margin. Next, if there's no scarce resource, the priority is on the products with highest contribution margin. Okay, the competition is simple. If there's no scarce resource, just prioritize the product with the highest CM. Next, if there is scarce resource or meron tayong isang raw material or be it machine hours ba yung scarce resource natin or is that labor hours, no? May different scarce resources kasing pwede tayong i-consider. If that is present, meron tayong scarce resource, our priority is on the products with the highest contribution margin per scarce resource. Okay, that's basically the CM divided by the scarce resource. Next, in every decision, always consider the market limitation or the demand for the products. Okay, kasi kahit naman sa tingin mo, mas malaki yung contribution margin mo if ever you'll produce more of one product than the others. Eh, paano naman kung hindi mo siya mabenta, no? So, you'll really have to consider the market limitations. Okay, so that would be all for the decision rules under product mix decision. Okay, so let's reiterate how can we compute for the contribution margin per scarce resource. Okay, we have two alternative formulas for that. First is the contribution margin per scarce resource is equal to the unit contribution margin divided by the number of scarce resource per unit that we're going to use. Or the second formula is unit contribution margin times the number of units per scarce resource. Okay? Whichever is applicable or whichever is easier to use in your problem, mamili ka na lang. Okay? The first formula is commonly used in problem solving. Okay? So that would be the ways we can compute for the contribution margin per scarce resource. Additional rules on product mix decision for the number of units produced. If there is no market limitation, allocate all the scarce resource to the product under priority. Thus, the other products will not be produced. Okay, that's easy to understand. If there is market limitation, allocate the scarce resource in the order of priority. Under this scenario, the other products can be produced. Okay, kasi nga pag may market limitation, although mas gusto natin na i-allocate lahat ng resources sa product na may pinakamalaking contribution margin, hindi natin magagawa yon dahil there's possibility na hindi mabenta yung sobrang supply compared sa demand. Next, for the total contribution margin, after computing the units to be produced on each product, just multiply them to their respective unit contribution margins to compute the total contribution margin. Okay, so that's another formula to consider when trying to identify how much is the total contribution margin. In this problem, we're going to solve for the number of minutes of mixing machine time that would be required to satisfy the demand for all products. Okay, so let's start. Hmm, okay, so let's check here. Supreme Hero Corporation makes three products in a single facility. So these are the data. And then the mixing machines are potentially the constraint in the production facility. A total of 32,400 minutes are available per month on these activities or on these machines. Direct labor is a variable cost in the company. Okay, let's solve for the mixing machine time for each product and then we'll get the total after. So right here we have the mixing minutes per unit and then there's the monthly demand in units. I think we need these two line items. So sulat ko na mixing minutes per unit and then multiplied by the monthly demand in units. For product A, we have 3.5 minutes. For the demand, we have 4,000. B, 3.1 minutes. Demand is 2,000 units. And for C, we have 3.5 minutes. And then the demand is 4,000 units also. So that if we're going to multiply, we have the total mixing minutes 4,000 times 3.5 times 2,000 6,200. This is also 14,000. Now let's get the total. That's 28,000 plus 62. Total of 34,200. So this will be our answer. If we're going to add these three amounts. So that's the answer for number 1. Requirement 2, which orders would you advise the company to accept first, second, and third? So, alin daw yung dapat nating i-prioritize na product? Is it A, B, or C? Ano yung ranking nila? First, let's get the selling price per unit. By the way, we're computing for the unit contribution margin per scarce resource. Okay, so we're gonna divide these two. First, let's enter here or write here the selling price per unit. We have A, B, and C. So next, let's deduct the variable cost. To do that, let's get the sum of the following amounts. We have the direct materials, direct manufacturing overhead, the variable selling cost per unit. Okay, I think direct materials, direct labor, variable manufacturing overhead, and variable selling cost per unit. Ito lang yung mga kailangan natin, no? So, compute natin yan per product. And then, lastly, ito. Compute ko lang. 20.9 plus 30.8 plus 1.6 plus 1, 54.3. Okay, 54.3. Sa B naman, sa B. 14.5 plus 33.4 plus 1.9 plus 3.4, 53.2. And then sa product C, 18.3 plus 26 plus 2.1 plus 1.5, 47.9. Okay. So, sulat na natin dito. 64.5, 64.8, 63.3, 54.3, sorry, mali. 53.2 and 47.9. Unit contribution margin 64.5 minus 54.3, that's 10.2. 64.8 minus 53.2, 11.6, 63.3 less 47.9, 15.4. Okay, now let's divide these amounts with the scarce resource per unit, which is the mixing minute. So divided by the mixing minutes, 3.5, 3.1, and 3.5. 10.2 divided by 3.5, that's 2.91. UCM per scarce resource, 2.91, and then 11.6 divided by 3.1, 3.74. Okay. And then lastly, we have 15.4 divided by 3.5. That's 4.4. Okay. So, ang pinaka-priority natin ay yung may pinakamalaki. So, this should be prioritized first. Lagyan natin dito, priority. Ito yung ating second kasi nga siya yung sumunod. And then third, ito yung lowest na UCM per scarce resource. So this will be our answer for number 2. Okay, these are our answers. Requirement 3. How many units of each product should be produced to maximize net operating income? Round off the answer to the nearest whole unit. So let's solve for this. Kanina nalaman natin na ang first priority ay si product C and second si B, last priority si A. Lagay na natin no para hindi tayo para may guide na tayo. So ito yung ating first, second, and third priority. And then nakita rin natin na 14,000, no? Let me check, double check ko lang. 14,000 ang total mixing minutes for A, 6,200 kay B, and 14,000 kay C. 14,000. Let me just write that here. 14, dito na lang. 6,2 and 14,000 ang total mixing minutes. Kung total natin yan, ang makukuha natin ay 34,200, no? 34,200. Pero, yung ating total minutes available ay 32,400 lang. Ito nasa baba. 32,400. So, lumalabas, hindi enough yung ating 32,400 to produce all of our products. So, kailangan nating mag-give up ng ilang units sa sa product na ating least priority, which is product A, no? Alam naman natin based on our computation kanina na product A yon. So again, ito yung ating total number of minutes, and then ang ating let me just double check, no? 34,200 ang ating total number of minutes na kailangan. So 34,200 minus 32,400. Lumalabas may kulang tayo na 1,800 minutes. No? Kung meron lang sana tayo nitong 1,800, na-produce sana natin lahat. So, kailangan natin magbawas. Sa pagbabawas, lagay natin dito si A. Mixing minutes to be allocated. Allocated mixing minutes. Ayan, medyo maba na. A, B, and C. Allocate tayo ng 14,000 kay C kasi siya yung first priority natin. No? So, enough pa ba yung 6,200 kay B dito sa ating 32,400 na available? Siguro naman enough pa yan. So, lagyan na natin ang 6,200 total sa kanya. And then yung natitira dito sa 32,400. So, minus natin. 32,400 minus 14,000 na napunta kay A minus 6,200 na napunta kay B. Ang natitira na lang ay 12,200. So, yun yung ilalagay natin kay A kasi siya yung ating least priority. And then, let's divide that by the mixing minutes per unit. So, that is 3.5, 3.1, and another 3.5. So, units to be produced. Sagot natin ay 12,200 divided by 3.5. 3,486 siguro. I-round off natin. 3,486. 6,200 divided by 3.1. That's 2,000 units. And then 14,000 divided by 3.5. That's 4,000 units. Okay, so these are the amount or the number of units that we are going to produce for each product. 3,486 for A, 2,000 units of B, and 4,000 units of C. Requirement 4. What is the expected total contribution margin of Supreme Hero if it will follow the proposed action maximizing its net income? So this is how we are going to compute for that. Let's first get the number of units to be produced for each product, no? Si A, B, and C. 3,486, 2,000, and 4,000. 3,486, 2,000, 4,000. May A tayo, B, and C. Units to be produced. And then next, we have the contribution margin per unit, no? CM per unit. And kunin natin yan dun sa computation kanina. 10.2, 11.6, and 15.4. Tama? 10.2, 11.6, 15.4. Okay. 10.2, 11.6, 15.4. Multiplication to. Double check ko lang Okay, tama naman. So, multiply na natin. 3,486 times 10.2. That's 35,557. 35,557. 2,000 times 11.6. 23,200. 4,000 times 15.4. That's 61,600. And then, ito yung ating total CM na lang. Lagay natin, total CM. Pero ito yung pinaka-grand total Grand total. Yan. Grand total na CM ay pag pinag-add natin itong tatlong to. So our answer would be 61,600 plus 23,200 plus 35,557. That's 123,557. 120,357. Okay? So that's our answer for number 4. Requirement 5. Up to how much should the company be willing to pay for 1 additional minute of mixing machine time if the company has made the best use of the mixing or the existing mixing machine capacity? Magkano daw yung willing tayong ibayad kung sakaling madagdagan ng 1 minute yung ating available mixing machine time? Kasi 'di ba currently ang ating total ay 32,400. Paano kung maging 32,401 yan? Okay? Yung total cost na kaya nating tanggapin na madagdag sa atin ay itong amount na to. Yung nandun sa kanina, that would be this one, 2.91. Okay? Yung contribution margin per unit of product C or per scarce unit of product C, yun yung acceptable sa atin na maging cost nitong additional minute na available na mixing capacity. That is 2.91. Okay? Kasi kung magkakaroon tayo ng additional 1 minute, kanino lang natin siya pwedeng gamitin na para mag-produce ng product? Pwede lang natin siyang gamitin kay product A dahil tandaan nyo, hindi lahat ng demand for product A ay na-produce natin. Pero na-exhaust natin lahat ng monthly demand ng product B and product C. Okay? Dito lang tayo may mixing um mixing minutes available. Okay, so that would be our answer for number 5, 2.91.